Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 podcast. I'm Hugh and I've got Dara here with me for an Everton City preview. Stick with us for the second half of the video where we got our opposition fan views. We've got a special guest coming on and we're looking forward to speaking to him about that. Dara, we're going for 17 wins in the bounce. Goodison, we've won our last 5 games against Everton and the last time we went there we won 3-1. It's always a tough game there in my opinion, even though recent history says we do well, but no doubt it'll be a tough game. What are your thoughts going into it?
I think it'd be tough whether they're missing key players or not. I think we can still we're going in with confidence, going in 16 wins in a row. I'm confident going into it. So
yeah, like I said, recent history says we do well at Goodison Park, but there's just this thing in my head that says Goodison's always a tough place to go because they set up strong. It's a tough place usually when fans are there. Unfortunately, they won't have that. It would have been a great day, but in terms of City, we're missing Gundogan will not be fit to play by the looks of it. Aguero's not fit to start, and the news is that Diaz is fit to play. We just don't know if he'll start. This is obviously some shaky information. Gundogan has been our leading light the past month or two, so it'll be weird trying to have to adjust to a big game without him. How do you think that'll go down in the middle of the park?
I think Foden will be moved back. Foden will have to be the influential, the creative one in there with Bernardo beside him. But that means I think give Ferran Torres a chance to play, give him a chance to play and make his mark in the team fully. And then, if everything goes well, he could end up playing against Gladbach, he could end up playing the bigger games. But I think that's what's going to happen. And we could even go to back to the 4-4-2. Foden could play further ahead. We don't know what's going to happen, but I trust whatever happens.
Yeah, hopefully Pep lines up with his strongest team possible because it's going to be a tough game. Just on Everton, they've got 2 massive games this week. They're playing us tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then they've got the Merseyside derby in the weekend. Ancelotti has said he expects big things from both games, so no doubt they'll go all guns blazing to beat us because Ancelotti's a top manager. He's won everything you can win really in the game, and they're quite fortunate to have him because I was surprised when he went there in the first place. But we got news just before recording that they're missing Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's their main man up front. He scores the goals. They're just off the back of a loss to Fulham 2-0 in the weekend. We'll talk to the Everton fan a bit about that. But how do you think their confidence will be going into this game? Because we're obviously going to be sky high after 16 wins in the bounce. You think we'll go in with a pep in our step? Excuse the pun.
They're going to be. I think their confidence will be a bit down after Fulham, but they'll go in knowing they can hit a good team for 5 goals. You know what I mean? They hit Tottenham for 5. I know we hit them for 3, but they hit them for 5 with arguably their best centre back in there, which I was actually surprised when he got dropped after it. But we have I can't see if we are going to lose. I can't see us losing this one. But
I think Everton will go into this with almost like a similar view we had going into the Liverpool game, whereby it's a free hit. They're not expecting to win.
Yeah.
No one's going to expect them to win, but they can go in and just play free football, express themselves and give it their all. And in many cases, that works out in favour of that team because there's less pressure. Everyone's expecting us to win. The pressure's on us, even though we've got a sizable gap at the top of the table. But everyone's expecting us to win these, not traditional top 6 games. So it'll be interesting to see what Pep's lineup is when that comes out tomorrow afternoon. But we're going to put our starting 11 up on screen now. You can give your thoughts on that in the comments. We love seeing what you think on that. There's obviously, like I said, some key players missing. Do you think Aguero will get some game time? I assume he'll be on the bench because I'd love to see him get some game time with Champions League coming up and also Man United coming up on the horizon as well. What do you think the defence will be like? Do you think Ruben Diaz is likely to start?
I think he will start. We need to get him back for Champions League and United, like you said, because they're coming up soon enough. But I can't see a huge rotation of it because obviously we have got Arsenal on the weekend, so maybe Walker will get in over Cancelo, but it's only a guess really. Like there's nothing set in stone. He could even go with the back three, the 3 centre backs, and then someone on the right. But if he does that, then he have to play Cancelo. So it's a toss up really. I'm not sure what he'll go with, but again, I'm happy with whatever he goes with.
See, Laporte looked great last week. He looked comfortable, and I was quite happy with how he performed. So I wouldn't be too disappointed to see Stones and Laporte start the game. And if things were going a bit sourly, bring on Ruben Diaz for a bit of extra comfort. Yeah. But in terms of the title race, we're quite far ahead on the table at the moment. But we still have to win these games, and Pep likes to win absolutely everything. So I assume he'll put out his strongest squad possible because that's what he does all the time. Just before we go over now to the segment where we speak to the Everton fan, some of you may know him already because he's big on the YouTube football fan scene. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to give our score predictions for Manchester City Everton, and then we'll get his at the end of that. Dara, what do you think the prediction? What is your prediction? Sorry for the game.
I'll go 2-0 City.
2-0 City. I'm gonna go with a 2-1. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm a little bit more nervous about this game than I was for the Tottenham game of the weekend. Because like I said, Tottenham were a tired team. They they played extra time against Everton midweek and lost 5-4. Everton are going to come into this full of confidence. I know they lost to Fulham, but they're going to come in with the confidence, the fact that they don't have much pressure on them. They're not expected to win. And I think, they're going to hit us with a goal. With a goal, is my opinion. And I think it'll be a good goal. So, yeah, 2-1 is my prediction. We're going to switch over now to the segment where we speak to the Everton fans. So stick with us and we'll see you then. Yes, people, welcome to the part of the show where we speak to the opposition fan. And joining us today is Cameron from the Mighty Blues Everton fan channel. Cameron, thanks a million for coming on today. How's things with you?
No worries, mate. I'm all good. All good. You obviously could have been a little bit better if we decided to turn up on Sunday against Fulham, but that's Everton for you. I've had 22 years of it, and I'm not surprised by. But yeah, I'm all good. How's everyone?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good, mate. Looking forward to the game. We're obviously on a good run at the moment. The first thing I wanted to ask you is basically about that Fulham game. What are your initial thoughts going into this big game? Because obviously we're on a massive run, 16 games the bounce, scoring plenty of goals. I thought Everton were doing well, obviously, when they beat Tottenham last week. But then to lose to Fulham was quite a surprise to me. So how do you think that'll affect the mentality going into the game, the confidence?
To be honest, I think a lot of Evertonians are assuming that this is we're going to sort of fall into some pit of bad results and performances. But if one thing that Carlo Ancelotti's shown this season with Everton is that we seem to bounce back after bad performances. We lost to West Ham on New Year's Day and we bounced back. I think we beat Wolves away from home a couple of days later. We lost to Newcastle. We bounced back. We beat Leeds. We then got a point at Old Trafford, which was a brilliant point. We beat Tottenham. So I think the issue with Everton this season is being complacency. To be honest with you, Alex Iwobi done a little interview after the Newcastle defeat, and he said it was after the Leeds performance, and he was asked about the Newcastle defeat, and he said, "I think we just sort of took our foot off the gas a little bit and became a little bit complacent." And I think we've done that again, to be fair, on Sunday, which is a bit ridiculous because if for me, looking at those three fixtures, Fulham, City, and Liverpool, if you'd have asked me what which game I think is the most important to get the win in, it's Fulham, because obviously you guys are on an unbelievable run at the moment and it's going to be extremely difficult for us to get anything out of it, even if we are at 110%. And the Merseyside derby is the Merseyside derby, and our record at Anfield is atrocious. But I think we become complacent again on Sunday. There was no energy, there was no fight. But like I said, I don't know why I'm thinking it, but I just think Everton will turn up and show a reaction tomorrow. That doesn't mean that we're going to get anything out of the game, because, like I said, even Everton at 110%, I don't think I know aren't as good as Manchester City are, because for me you've won the title already. You'll run away with it now. But I expect a reaction, to be honest with you, and I think we just overlooked Fulham on Sunday. I think we just thought, you know what, this will be a walk in the park. Don't have to worry too much about this. And they turned up and played us off the park, and rightly so. They deserve the win.
Yeah, I know Dara's got a question for you in a second, but I want to bring up a point on that. I said in our preview, in our segment just before this, that I think Everton have almost kind of a free hit going into this. No one's expecting you to win. No one's expecting you to get a result. So you can kind of go out and play with freedom and express yourselves and give it a right go, which can often work in the favour of a team in your position right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, completely agree, mate. Completely agree. I think you've brought up a really good point there about a free hit, because given if we'd have beaten Fulham on Sunday, if we'd have gone out there and won 2 or 3-0 or whatever and put in a decent performance, then we'd have had no expectations going into the City game. I think every Evertonian would have sat back and went, you know what, as long as we put an half-decent performance and as long as we don't embarrass ourselves, fight, work hard, show a bit of spirit, show a bit of passion, then whatever happens, happens. The result's the result. We're coming up against a very good Manchester City team, and you chalk that one off and you move on. But even with the Fulham defeat, I still think it is a little bit of a free hit because of those reasons. But I think there's a bit more expectation on the performance now. And I can almost see the Evertonians already, if we do put in a bit of fight and a bit of spirit, saying, well, why didn't we do that on Sunday? Because we'd have done that on Sunday, we'd have beaten Fulham. But no, I agree. I think it's a really good point. And for Everton, it's going to be very, very difficult. But like you said, it is quite a free hit for us to go into. But also, we've got a massive game on Saturday evening against Liverpool as well, away from home. So I understand the squad rotation and why he rotated the squad on Sunday against Fulham. But I'd have just focused a little bit more on getting the 3 points there, because of the fact that this game is sort of a free hit, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you can do us a favour on the weekend as well, beating our less favourite side of Merseyside. Dara, I know you've got a question or two lined up for Cameron you wanted to ask him. Do you want to fire away there?
Yeah, mate. Obviously, since you've been fairly inconsistent, like you've said, what do you feel like you have to do? What way do you feel like you have to set up to beat us?
Well, Carlo had his press conference today about an hour ago at 1 o'clock, and he said, recently in the last 3 games, United, Tottenham, Fulham, we've started to play a little bit more attacking. We've been a little bit more expansive. We've scored, 8 goals against Tottenham and Manchester United, but we've also conceded a lot. He said about tomorrow, he said this is probably going to be a game where we have to defend a bit more and focus a bit more on our defensive duties, and that doesn't worry me too much because earlier on in the season, we played Chelsea at Goodison Park when we were in a bad run of form, and we beat them and we defended really well. We played Leicester away from home a couple of days later, beat them in the same way. Arsenal beat them in the same way a couple of days after that as well. So I think in terms of this game, I think if we try and go toe-to-toe with Manchester City, then it'll be a mismatch, because I think you've got more quality than we have, of course, and obviously you've got players that are scoring free flow at the moment. I think it's 26 goals scored in the last 10 games or something like that, 2 conceded. So I think our setup will very much be to defend and to not concede and then maybe hit Manchester City on the counter-attack. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is unavailable for this game, which is a big miss for Everton, of course, because usually he provides that sort of focal point up forward up front, when we're hitting teams on the counter attack. But again, like I said, I think our tactic tomorrow will be very much defend, and keep a solid line, frustrate Manchester City, and then maybe try and hit you when you're not expecting it.
Right, so we got the news this morning that Dominic Calvert-Lewin will not be fit to play against us tomorrow night. Cameron, obviously Everton will no doubtably get a couple of chances throughout the game because that's just football for you. Without Dominic Calvert-Lewin there, are you concerned that the players may not take the chances that he usually would?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, he's been our best. I think definitely it's fair to say he's been our best player this season. Certainly goal scoring wise, he's been absolutely exceptional. I think what Dom's added to his game this season is he's starting to score more of those goals where balls are coming in at the back post and he's guiding them in, or balls are bouncing off somebody's head and he's on the end of it. I think a lot of the criticism for Dom previously was that he wasn't in the right place at the right time, where he very much has been in the right place at the right time this season. So he's a massive loss. I assume that Richarlison will play up in that forward role. You might have Josh King in there off one of the wings, Bernard, Alex Iwobi potentially. So he is a massive loss, and he's an excellent goal scorer. But hopefully that game against Tottenham will we'll be able to reignite Richarlison's goal scoring form. Wasn't great on Sunday, but didn't get any opportunities. To be fair, nobody passed to him for some reason. So yeah, it's disappointing and it's worrying. But again, I think Carlo doesn't want to risk him, given the fact that we've got a massive Merseyside derby on Saturday night, and he's probably not 100% fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. Just before we get into your predictions, I want to get the starting 11 off you. You said you had one prepared, and I'm curious to hear it. Who have you got?
Yeah, so I've gone for Pickford in goal. Carlo, obviously, Pickford hasn't played for the last couple of weeks or so. He's had an injury. Carlo Ancelotti had his press conference today, and he said that if Pickford's fit, he'll play. He also said that he's having a late fitness test, or he's trained all week and he'll have another fitness test prior to the game. So I expect Jordan to be back and in goal. I've gone with the back line of Luca Dean at left back, Yerry Mina and Michael Keane at centre back, and Ben Godfrey at right back, like I mentioned before. Bringing that partnership of Yerry Mina and Michael Keane back into the side, and then adding that creativity of Luca Dean. If we're going to get anything out of the game, it'll probably be from either him or James, and then the defensive capabilities of Ben Godfrey. I've gone with the midfield three of Abdoulaye Doucouré, Alan to return, and then James Rodriguez in the number 10 sort of role. Like I said, I think if we're going to create anything in this game, if we've got any chance of scoring, it will be from either Luca Dean or James Rodriguez. His creativity has been excellent at times. Yes, he's been slightly a liability defensively, but that's not really what he's in there to do. He's in there to create. He's in there to put balls on the end of players' feet and create opportunities for us. Alam is a big one. He hasn't played for months now. He's been out injured. Carlo confirmed today that he is fit. He's ready. He's trained and everything, and he's good to go. So hopefully we'll see him start again for Everton. He has been exceptional since he's come in. Abdoulaye Doucouré is the energy in the middle. He provides the big physical midfielder who gets forward and can also defend as well. And then front three, I've gone for Alex Iwobi up front. Alex Iwobi on the right, Richarlison up front, and I'm going to give Josh King his first Everton start. We haven't really seen much of Josh King since he's joined. I think the frustrating thing is that we've only ever seen him in 5 or 10 minute spells at the end of the game. And, you know, we all know, lads, that any player that's being asked to come on with 10 minutes to go and change a game is very, very difficult, especially considering the game against Fulham we'd already lost. So I'd like to see him from the off, see what he can do. He'll add a bit of directness, he'll add a bit of pace, and also on the counter attack, which I think is going to be our best form of scoring tomorrow night. I think he'll provide that energy on the counter as well.
Yeah, there's definitely goals in there. I'm under no illusions that Everton do have the potential to cause a bit of damage. Like I said in our segment of the show, that I'm probably a bit more nervous for this fixture than I was for the Tottenham game on Saturday, because Everton have got that free hit, as we already spoke about. Right, the predictions. I said 2-1, Cameron. Dara, I think, said 2-0. What are your predictions for the scoreline for this game?
I'm going to go with 1-1. I can't predict Everton to lose. I just can't. I haven't got it in me. What I would say is if we turn up and perform like we did against Fulham on Sunday, it will be about 16. It'll double Southampton's defeats, put it that way. But like I said before to you, I don't think we'll turn up and play like we did on Sunday. I think we'll turn up. I think there'll be a reaction. I think we'll show fight. I think we'll show spirit. And that's what I expect. That is honestly what I expect, because, again, there's no excuse for players becoming complacent, and no excuse for players believing that we've got a right to beat anybody, even the sides that are in the relegation zone like Fulham are. But there's definitely not an excuse for them to come out tomorrow and become complacent and think that it'll be a walk in the park, because it absolutely won't be. So I'm going to go with 1-1. I think we'll defend constantly. I think it'll be difficult. I think City will probably have about 99% possession, but I think we'll nick one on the counter attack and we'll keep you at bay. But that's just my prediction. It could go either way. It could be an absolute, bloodbath for Everton Football Club. Yeah. But again, I expect the reaction, just because of what we've seen at times this season. When we've lost games to teams we shouldn't lose, we generally do bounce back and put in a better performance the game after.
I think 1-1's a reasonable prediction, and no doubt it will be a good game. We're all really looking forward to it. We're going to wrap up the video there. A massive, massive thank you to Cameron for coming on. We're going to leave a link to his Twitter and his YouTube in the description below, the Mighty Blues Everton fan channel. We've seen plenty of his videos, and we like what he's doing. So it's great to have you on, Cameron. Thanks a million, mate. Thank
you very much for having me, lad. Sorry about the little technical issues in between, but really appreciate coming on. And obviously, I'd say best of luck for tomorrow, but I'm not going to. You don't need luck, let's be honest. You don't need luck. You're beating everybody and anyone at the moment. But a big thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. And yeah, best of luck with the channel and everything in the future.
No problem at all, mate. It's great having you. Like and subscribe, guys, if you're new around here. We're really enjoying making this content, and we'll see you in the next one.